Hi, my name is Younus, and today I'm going to draw an Islamic geometric pattern from Eric Broug's book, Islamic Geometric Patterns. It's one of the intermediate patterns in the book. It's called the Great Mosque of Herat. You can see it on screen, and we'll be turning this design into this pattern. Okay, so let's get started. As you can see, it's a hexagonal pattern, whereas the other two patterns that I've drawn are squares, or based on kind of square background. This one's based on a hexagonal background, so let's get on and draw it. So again, I'm going to snap to grid, and I'm going to show the grid. Then I'm going to come down to the polygon tool down here. Just make sure it's showing 6 sides. I think as a default it shows 5, but I've sort of been drawing the pattern or drawing the design already, so it's already set to 6 on my computer. Yep, draw a hexagon that is 1000 by 1000 pixels wide in terms of the sort of square that you draw. When it comes to later on, the width will be it will be narrower than 1000 pixels, but as long as the height is 1000 pixels, that's fine. So I'm just going to remove the fill and make the stroke 0.5 as we do, and that is our first shape. Then I'm going to draw a circle, again the same size as the hexagon that we've drawn, so 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. And I'm going to divide the hexagon with some lines. So we'll do a horizontal and a vertical line to begin with. Well, actually, I'm just going to duplicate this line, just checking that it's in the center of the artboard and it is the correct length, as we do with all the shapes that we draw. And yeah, so I'm going to duplicate that using Control J and rotate that either clockwise or counterclockwise. I'm going to take these two intersecting lines now. I'm going to duplicate them, and down here I'm going to rotate them by 30 degrees, and then I'm going to press Control J again, and that will duplicate the movement again. So those are our intersecting lines. Now I'm going to take the hexagon that we drew, I'm going to duplicate that and rotate that 90 degrees. So you can use the buttons up here to rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise. And now we're going to draw some more intersecting lines. I'm going to draw 3 lines to begin with. Let's turn snap to grid off and snap to object geometry on. And turn the grid off as well. I'll hide the grid as well. So our first line comes from this point down to this point. I'm going to hit escape to close or finish the line. Just extend that to the top of the artboard and the bottom. And take this point here to this point, and extend that to the edge of the artboard again. Just make sure it kind of highlights green on this end. And just quickly have a look at that. Yeah, it's centered and it's 1200 pixels wide. Then from this point up to this point here. And I'm going to extend that again. 1, 2. Yeah. So I'm going to take those 3 lines that we've just drawn, and I'm going to duplicate them. And flip them horizontally. Yeah. Draw another 3 lines, this time from, where are we? From this point to this point. From this point down to this point. And again, extending those to the edge of the artboard. Make sure that red line at the top highlights, as does the bottom one. And from this point, oh, sorry, didn't end that line. So from here down to here. Just finish that line and extend it to the top of the artboard. Boom, boom. Okay, you're going to take those last 3 lines that we've drawn and duplicate them and flip them vertically. Yeah. Right, those are all our construction lines. So I'm going to select all of those, group them, and then lock that layer. Okay. Just make sure to deselect everything, otherwise when we change our pen type it might end up changing the lines that we've just drawn. Okay, so I'm going to, what swatches do we have? So I'm going to create a red line. What am I doing? Yeah. Create a red line and make it 2 points thick. And we're going to draw our construction lines now. So I'm going to zoom in to the top of the artboard. Let's do that again. Yeah. And we're going to start on this point here. Come down to this point here. Come across to here. Right into the corner, because there's 3, because there's 2 lines intersecting the edge of the artboard. Just be careful that you are right in the corner of the artboard. You should see the red and the green line highlight if you are. And drop your point there and come back and close the shape off. That's the first shape, so I'm going to hit escape. Just make sure we're positioned right in the corner, which we are. And our second shape is, right, I'm going to come in a bit closer. Let's take it up to 120. Let's go for 130. Yeah. Okay, so we want this line here that the pen tool is on. So just be careful. So what I do is I take the pen tool to the top corner and just bring it down slightly, and it should snap to that line that we want. So from there, bring it down to this point here. And again, bring it up to that point and take it up to the top corner. Bring it right across to the opposite corner. Then bring it down slightly. You should see the a circle appear just below the pen tool. So I'll just move it so you can get an idea. There's a plus, there's a minus, and there's a circle. You want the circle to appear so that you can close off the shape. That should be your shape. I'll just zoom in on this corner just to show you how it will look. Just make the stroke a little bit thinner as well. So yeah, you should if you follow the blue line, you can see where, and we just select the node tool for a second, you can see where the different points are on that line. So I've gone back to the move tool, just going to zoom out again, just going to have a look at the shape in the transform window, and it looks as if everything is on grid. Let's make this 2 points thick again. So we're going to take these two shapes, select them, I'm going to duplicate them, I'm going to flip them, well, I'm going to flip them horizontally first, just snap them into place first of all. What's going on here? Yeah, cool. And then I'm going to flip them vertically. Yeah, vertically. Select those, duplicate those, and rotate them 60 degrees. And hopefully if we do that one more time, that's all our construction lines for this. That's all our design lines for this pattern and design. Yeah, so let's scroll down, hide the construction lines, and you can see the pattern emerging, the design emerging. I'm going to select, I'm going to show you the grid again, snap the grid back on, and then starting from 100 pixels in, sort of along the X and Y axis, draw another hexagon that is 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels, and grab all the shapes, select all the shapes, just fill them in, and let's hide the grid again and hit divide. Okay, so that's going to have divided all our shapes. You can see there's a few missing. That I've drawn this shape a few times, and each time there's always a few shapes missing. Again, when you divide the shapes, it tends not to divide them as accurately as you would expect, given that everything is snapped, you know, it's snapped to a grid and to like geometry points and whatnot. But that's fine. We can go in and fix all that ourselves. So because there's quite a lot of shapes, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the shapes within the hexagon first. That should be everything. So if we cut those, oh, missed one at the bottom. Yeah, if we cut those, select everything else and delete it, and then paste our shape back in. Looks a little bit disjointed at the moment, but that's not a problem. We can always copy and paste some of the shapes that are missing. So, I don't know what I pressed there. Let's grab these shapes, duplicate those, flip them, and they will fit here. What have I done? What have I done? Why is that not snapping? Do we need that on? So you want snap to, what's it called? Object bounding boxes, so that we can snap all the shapes to each other. Right, so we're going to want to duplicate this shape. In fact, let's not duplicate that one. Let's duplicate that one and just flip it. And again, let's duplicate the opposite shape there, flip it, bring it down. And this one here. Okay. So yeah, I can see there's a lot of stray nodes on the shapes. I'm just going to go in and tidy some of these up, just one by one. Okay, that's all the stray nodes that I can see. Yeah, let's grab that. Let's start adding some color. Just see what colors I chose there. Yeah. Okay. Start with the line. Let's make a white line. Well, let's make the line 4 points thick first, and then make it white. And then grab that center piece. Let's grab all the lines and make them white. Grab the center piece. Make that. Is that white? Or is that? Yeah. No. Just make sure all the lines are actually white. So grab all the shapes, make them a darker blue. Grab these shapes here. Make them orange. And these 6 corner points, if you want, we'll just make those not orange. What colour? This one. Okay. Fuchsia, is it? Yeah, I think. Oh, let's make that white. Yeah, yeah. So there's the design that we started with. I think this one's got the slight kind of tint to it, which is fine. I mean, we can add that tint if you like. It does look quite nice, to be fair. Okay, and we'll turn that into the pattern. So I'm going to copy the design, come over to new, create a new artboard, 2000 by 3000 pixels. I'm actually going to just bring that into the center. So 1000 by 1500. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And because it's quite a big design, I'm just going to sort of shrink it so that we can kind of get quite a nice sort of smaller pattern going. I'll get rid of the lines first, and then just make it 500 pixels wide. going to zoom in on it a little bit and then duplicate it and line it up with itself, and then hit duplicate again and again. Just zoom out a little bit. Yeah, that's, do that one more time. And then let's do that one more time. Let's take that one, bring it down to the bottom here. What happens if I do that? No. So just going to grab all these shapes. Oh. Duplicate them, bring them down to the bottom. Just zoom in quickly. Oh, what have I done? What did I do? Just line that up properly. Just going to create a new artboard. That's 2000 by 3000 pixels. And just make sure I've got everything selected. Copy that across. Paste that in to the middle. Let's just place that bang in the middle. I'm also going to rotate it 90 degrees. And remove the stroke. What I'm also going to do is reduce it in size, halve it in size. So take the width and make that 500 pixels instead of 1000. And oh, what am I doing? Right, let's zoom in a little bit, not too much. I'm going to duplicate the shape, the design, and drop it there. Zoom out. Duplicate again and again and again. Just going to copy the shape that we have, paste it, and then just going to select the shape again, duplicate it, and this time bring it to the bottom. So zoom out, duplicate again and again and again. And zoom out again. Select all. This time I'm going to copy and paste. And bring everything together. Let's zoom in while we do that. So that should snap into place there. Paste again. Paste again, and paste again, let's just zoom out a bit, select all, see what's going on. I'm just going to paste a couple more times. What's happened there? Did anything happen? Undo paste. Undo clear selection. Right, let's paste it again. Won't drop it exactly in place just yet. I just want to zoom in and get it on quite accurate. So just one more paste. Let's take those shapes and zoom in on them. Yep, and that is the final design. I decided not to add lines on this one, only because, well, I can add some lines and then show you kind of what it looks like. Let's make that 2 points thick because they are half the size. Yeah, so that's what the pattern looks like with the lines. I mean, ideally, you do want to kind of add the shapes as we normally do. That hasn't added. What I'll do, I'll just undo that. So how we normally add the shapes, you'd want to kind of add all the shapes on the edge of the design together. Let's just push that in a little bit, especially with these triangle ones. Get a little bit closer. Yeah, so you can kind of get the idea. Where are we? Yeah, I mean, you can go around and do that with all the shapes if you want. But again, it would take quite a while in the video, so I decided not to instead. Just select all the shapes, and that sort of gives you an idea of what the design will look like. But yeah, if you did want to kind of look into, you know, how to add the shapes together, if you sort of watch one of my previous videos, I do go into quite well. I think it's the Great Mosque of Herat, where I kind of show in a bit more detail how you can add the shapes together to good effect when they don't kind of line up as well as you'd like. Yeah, if we zoom out, that's the pattern. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. Thanks again. Thank you. Bye bye.